Information about Cars 4 was leaked at the D23 in Brazil, and I was invited by Disney to attend the event. Thank you, Disney. It was an amazing trip. I was there to witness it firsthand, and of course, I'm here to talk to you all about it. So turn up the volume because another Cine Lovers is starting for you. Cars is one of Pixar's best and biggest franchises. We have to agree on that. Everyone loves McQueen, right? Cars already has 3 movies, a series, and several shorts, all on Disney+. The Cars franchise is incredibly profitable, not just from the movies but also, and especially, from the merchandise. I even have quite a few items myself. Pixar knows Cars brings in a lot of money, and Cars also stands out as one of the franchises that best shows the character's evolution, specifically Lightning McQueen's journey, his redemption from who he was in the first movie to who he becomes by the last. When we see this kind of thing, like a character's growth, evolution, and redemption, it makes the story, character, and film so much richer, more amazing, and creates a stronger connection with that character and franchise. Cars clearly demonstrates this. We all know Cars had some disturbing sequences, and it's no surprise that Cars 2 is the lowest rated film in the series, with a mere 39% critical approval. Meanwhile, The Incredibles 2, Toy Story 2, and Inside Out 2 all have ratings nearly at 100%. Toy Story 2 even has a perfect 100% approval rating. Cars 2 took a sharp turn and ended up clashing with both critics and audiences. The film changed direction, moving from the heartwarming story of the first movie to a spy comedy plot, with Mater as the central character. This tonal shift felt out of place for many fans, leading to low ratings and reviews. With Cars 3, Pixar returned to the racing roots of the franchise, focusing on Lightning McQueen and exploring themes of aging and legacy. The critical response was much better, but the negative reception of Cars 2 led to some hesitation from fans. As a result, Cars 3 had lower box office numbers than expected. In the end, while Cars 2 was a risky shift, Cars 3 showed the franchise could still deliver meaningful stories, even if it took time to regain trust. But since Pixar decided to start making sequels again, recognizing their potential, Inside Out 2 is proof of this. It's one of the top 10 highest grossing films in cinema history and the most watched animated film of all time. And Inside Out 2 is a sequel. Just make a good sequel, and everyone will watch. Besides that, Toy Story will have a 5th movie, Ice Age will have a 6th, not to mention the Buck Wild movie. I even made a video about Ice Age 6 with more details. You should click and watch it afterward. So if Toy Story 5 and Ice Age 6 are on the way, why not Cars 4? From now on, any franchise could get a sequel. At D23 Brazil, there were stands for the live-action Lilo and Stitch, Zootopia 2, Moana 2, Win or Lose, Toy Story, Snow White, Elio, and many others. All of these are set to get a sequel, a movie, or original series in the coming months. But there was also a Cars stand. It had a life-size McQueen, Radiator Springs recreated, and you could even change Cruz Ramirez's tires. So Cars was the only franchise with a stand there that didn't have any sequels or series officially announced. It was the only attraction without any new announcement. There was also a leak, which I'll tell you about in a moment, but if McQueen was with Cruz Ramirez, then that means there will be a future Cars production featuring both characters back again. This leak deserves your like. It's free, and it really helps the channel. Thank you. Besides, you won't believe what happened. During the event, the audience was invited to fill out a satisfaction survey about D23 itself, and one of the questions asked, which of these D23 announcements are you most excited to follow? And one of the options was simply Cars 4. I got chills. That's why Cars was the only franchise with a stand, even though Disney hadn't announced anything. It means they actually plan to announce Cars 4. There are still more hints that Cars Cars 4 is on the way, which I'll tell you in a little while. But then you might ask, so why didn't Disney and Pixar officially announce Cars 4, like Disney did with Ice Age 6 for example? Here's the thing, I think Pixar was going to announce Cars 4 officially for the first time, and all this evidence clearly shows we're getting this long-awaited sequel. But since Pixar already announced Elio, Toy Story 5, Hoppers, The Incredibles 3, the Win or Lose series, and the Inside Out series, that's 4 movies and 2 series, a lot of content, they probably decided to wait a bit to make this announcement and let the public hype up these 6 productions. They likely made this decision at the last minute, since there was a special Cars stand and Cars 4 was on the satisfaction survey. Disney canceled the announcement at the last minute, but as I said before, there are still more hints that Cars 4 is on the way. Stay tuned until the end of the video to understand better. Oh, and speaking of the Inside Out series, I watched the first episode, and soon I'll make a special video about the series, which will premiere this December on Disney+. Well, to me, maybe in a year, after Elio has already been released, they might announce at the next event or online that Cars 4 is happening. But if we think about it, with The Incredibles scheduled for around 2027, I think Cars 4 will also be set for 2027 or even 2028. So it's going to be 10, 11, or even 12 years after the third movie. But the evidence and clues are there. Besides, at the D23 event here in the United States, Pixar announced new Cars attractions for the Disney parks. They also announced several new attractions for park franchises that will be getting sequels and series, but Cars was again confirmed with new attractions, even though nothing was officially announced. So, guys, the clues are really right in front of us, and Cars 4 is only a matter of time until they announce it. And yes, Lightning McQueen will be back sooner or later. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're here for the first time, because I talk every day about your favorite characters and movies, including Cars. There's a special Cars playlist here on the channel that you're going to love. As if all these hints and clues from Pixar weren't enough, someone else also dropped a word about Cars 4. Jay Ward, the creative director at Pixar who worked on the Cars films and shorts, recently gave an interview saying that more Cars content is on the way. So, the creative director at Pixar said this. And all of this happened at D23 in the United States and especially at the D23 in Brazil. I'm very excited and thrilled. If you're also excited for Cars 4 to finally hit theaters, drop a hashtag Cars 4 in the comments and I'll give it a heart. The reality is that Cars 4 is just a matter of time. Sooner or later, they'll make it official because the clues are there, the hints are right in front of us, and we'll definitely have Cars 4 soon. Now it's your turn to click on one of these videos here about Cars. Choose one, and then binge watch the playlist. I'm sure you'll enjoy it a lot. I'm happy you made it this far. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next Cine Lovers.
This is impossible.
That's what I'm talking about. Ka-chow!